Bumpin', show me the all damn day. Bumpin', show me the all damn day. Staying home all damn day.
Today we're testing out the Honda Forza 750 2023 model year, and yeah, as you can see, we have it right here. Since I am an owner of the X80V, which is fairly similar, it has the same engine, probably the same DCT, so I will probably compare to the X80V. So if anyone is in the market of I don't know if I want the Forza, if I want the X80V, maybe some of my comparisons will be helpful. I don't know. If you don't like comparing scooters or bikes or whatever, then just turn off and watch some other video. Let's get to the controls, the display and the storage space. So on the left hand side we have the brake lever for the rear disc brake, adjustable in 6 positions. Also in the front here we have a up switch for the DCT. We can switch it up or down, although the mode usually is the automatic mode. You can always intervene and always switch down or up, whatever you want. But of course the bike or the scooter will fairly quickly return to the gear which he or she thinks is correct. Furthermore, we have the light switch here, which is also a difference to the X80V. Well, the switch is the same, but the light is a little bit different because here we have a permanent low beam and we can switch it to high beam, and here we have the passing light. On the X80V there's a possibility, because we have a daytime running light, we can have it turned on or off for the low beam. If we go into a tunnel and stuff like that, or if it gets darker, it will automatically turn on or switch to the low beam. And here we don't have this feature because we don't have the daytime running light here. We have the mode switch here for the different riding modes. We have Sport, Standard, Rain and User, and that's about it. One less driving mode. On the X80V we also have Gravel mode. We have a function switch here which you can use to reset things in the display like trip and so forth. And here we have a kind of a joystick button for up, down, left, right. For the display here we have the horn. It's very loud. Here we have the turn signal switch. We have a hazard light switch here. And as I said, down below we have the downshift button for the DCT. On the right hand side we have the throttle, we have the brake lever, also adjustable in 6 positions for the front disc brakes. We have the emergency cutoff switch, combined starter switch, and we have the controls for the DCT. When you turn it on, it is always in neutral. Then you can switch it with D into drive. Or if you want to control the gears, the shifting yourself, you switch it to A or M, A automatic, M manual, and you can select the gears by yourself. So in the middle we have the display. We have different display modes. I can maybe quickly show you, but it really takes a lot of time to get through the menu system here. In the display everything is clearly visible. We have the time on top always displayed, also the temperature outside. On the left hand side here at the moment we have the RPM counter. In the middle we have the speedometer. To the right we have the different riding modes, as I said, Sport, Standard, Rain, User. And as you can see, with different modes, also the power and engine brake and drive and traction control will change. So for example, here in Sport mode you have full power, engine brake is full, drive is full, and traction control is reduced. If you go into Rain mode, everything is reduced except for traction control, and this is like, you know, you have the best control in Rain. Yeah, down below we have like a tab system with 4 fields, data fields. We have 4 by 4 data fields basically. This is tab 1, 2, 3 and 4, and you can configure them to your liking. You can display the voltage or whatever you want. There's a lot of data to display or to select. And let's go into the menu system here. You press the button to the right hand side. We have the riding mode. We can adapt basically. We can change the shift point, self-canceling turn signals. I'm not going to read everything here. Econ mode is basically, it only shows in the RPM counter if you're driving or riding fuel efficient or not, with green and red. That's the only difference here. Display, different display types. Here you can see we have the digital, analog, loop, and that's it. And also we can switch the background of the display, like white, black, metallic, and so forth, or automatic. Favorite information, user letter. Also we have date and time, unit language, and so on. That's basically everything. As I said, you can also adjust the data fields to your likings. If you have any questions, just let me know. I have an XADV. I might be able to answer you any questions you have. Oh, and what I wanted to add, actually, the display can also be connected with your phone, so we can access Honda Road Sync. So we can make calls, telephone calls. If you have a Bluetooth headset, everything is done through a headset in your helmet. We do not, sometimes we see some data here on the screen, maybe for the weather or so, but if you want to navigate, you will not see anything on the display. You need to listen to your Bluetooth headset. It will tell you what to do. So when it comes to the storage space of the Honda Forza 750, on the left hand side we don't have anything. On the right hand side we have a little cubby hole here, which is here, and it is actually larger than that of the XADV. Maybe 3 of my hands will fit in there. Not very much space, but better than nothing. Also, we can open up the seat here. As I said, it's kind of a mixture between a scooter and a motorcycle, and yeah, the top box does not come with it as a standard. You need to buy it separately. This is a smart top box here where you don't need any keys to operate it. And here you can see the 22 liters storage space underneath the seat. You can actually fit a full-faced helmet in there. I have a Shark Spartan size M and it does fit. I will put the picture here onto the video for you, and you will see that it fits, and maybe some gloves you can put in there. And if you have a top box, of course, you can fit even more in there. Unfortunately, with the top box, I think there's only 5 kilos allowed, so maybe a jacket or something like that you can put in there, but nothing really heavy. So this is the Honda Forza 750 2023 model year, and we'll take it out for a little spin. Let's go. So we're on the bike. Yeah, I forgot to tell you actually about this in my video. There's also a push button here for starting up and stuff like that. So it is off like this. I totally forgot about this. Yeah, I mean, it's a keyless go system, so if you're close with your key to the bike, it has to be fairly close. Sometimes if I put my key into the backpack and ride, it will always say, hey, where's the key? So that's a problem. You need to put it somewhere very close, like in your front pocket of your jacket or so. So you push it once to activate it, and then push it again to turn it on. And well, that was already here the case. We also have a little button here for the fuel cap, which is here. And we have the seat opener here. And you know, if you put the handlebar to the left and then keep, you know, turning until the stop, and you wait for it like 1 or 2 seconds, then it will lock everything in place, and you also have this protection there. So let's get going. You start it up with the starter button here, and we're neutral now. We need to put it into D, and then we can go. Let's put it into sport mode since we're going here down the hill. So also in sport mode it is very aggressive. When you actually come to a corner and you want to kind of shift down, you just tap the brakes and then it basically shifts down already. Now we're in third gear. Watch, I'm gonna press the activate the brakes, and then it's fairly aggressive. Not so much aggressive in standard mode, of course, because here it's all about sports, about switching the gears quickly and having higher revs, and in standard mode it is all about saving gas. Yeah, it is very sporty in sport mode, definitely. And you think, oh well, it's a big scooter, but it is very nice, very powerful, and you know, okay, 59 horsepower, not that much, but still we have 69 Newton meters at 4,000 something. That is very, 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 very strong. Gonna go. Stop. Yeah, the first thing that you notice, the seat is not hard, not soft. It is actually not too bad for a Honda seat, to be honest. But the mirrors for the Forza are different to the one on the X80V. So I think they are a little bit more wide angled and further to the front, which I don't really like. So that is definitely a difference to the X80V, and here I would give the X80V the full points, because the mirrors on the X80V are really, really good. You can see everything. Here you don't really see everything, and yeah, I think the mirrors are better on the X80V. The windscreen is not adjustable, unfortunately, also not adjustable electronically. I don't know why, because the other Forzas, the smaller Forzas, have it. That's kind of weird. It would be only natural to put it, or to have put it on the big Forza, and it would definitely benefit from that. But it is okay, but you know, you have turbulences and stuff like that, so it's not really ideal. And I don't know which one is better, X80V, because X80V is actually smaller, but X80V you can adjust. My preference probably is the X80V, but maybe only because I own it. But at least the windscreen here is a little bit wider. Of course, it also depends how tall you are. If you're very tall, then I guess this windscreen is not so good anymore. But if you're smaller, you can maybe duck into the windscreen here, and then everything is fine. From the stability and everything here on this scooter or motorcycle, whatever you want to call it, it is very nice. Okay, today it's very windy here with a lot of gusts, but usually it is very nice. The X80V is a little bit more stable, more of a straight runner in the corners, and I do think, I don't know, maybe the handlebars are a little bit wider on the X80V. I like it a little bit better than this one. Also, the front feels very front heavy here on this one. The X80V seems lighter. Also personally a preference for me. Here it feels heavier, the front. Also it gives you, when you get on the bike at the first time, you know, it gives you the feeling of you're sitting on a battleship or something. And yeah, so these are my differences, my impressions, what I think is different to the X80V, because I own the X80V, and I also had the choice to make, you know, should I get this one or that one. I mean, this one is a bit cheaper. Usually I go for the cheaper one, but personally I like the X80V better, the looks and everything. Also some things which I told you I liked on the X80V better, and that's why I chose that one instead of this one. But you know, from engine and stuff like that, it is fairly the same. And yeah, pretty nice big scooter, pretty nice GT scooter here. I like it very much. It's definitely a recommendation of mine here. Definitely a recommendation of me for this big scooter with a lot of power. I mean, as I said, it only has 159 horsepower, but since it has a fairly high torque compared to other bikes or scooters in this class, it actually feels more powerful, definitely, from when you're getting up and go, from standing still and stuff like that. Also, you know, I mean, when you're on the go, you can always switch the gear down and you have a lot of power available. Yeah, the seat height, as I might have mentioned before, is a bit lower, teeny tiny bit, I think, than the X80V. So if you're not that tall, I'm 175 or 5'9", it is a little bit better. Not that much than on the X80V, but a little bit, and a little bit might help if you're really small. Then maybe this one is better if you're actually considering both or either one of them. Yeah, and I mean, that basically concludes my test ride here of the wonderful Honda Forza 750. As I said, nothing really has changed since they introduced it into the market in 2021 or so. Only the colors. And also, this is the 2023 model year. Next year, 2024, will be the same again. Only the colors will change. So if you want to wait, no, you don't have to wait. Only, as I said, unless you want a specific color in the 2024 model year. Anyway, that's about it. Thanks very much for watching. This has been Ride Out. Take care. Bye-bye.